What is up, everybody? From Messi and Co. I am here with Ashley Silvers. She's actually at the game right now, and I just finished watching the game. What a game! I think a lot to talk about, a lot to digest. A 2-0 game in favor of Inter Miami. Um, I think that, I mean, we saw after what we had seen during the preseason, I think that there was definitely a lot of stuff that we were kind of questioning and iffy about, but I don't know. I feel good after watching this game. I definitely feel good. How do you feel about this game, Ashley?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'm in post game traffic, as you can imagine. So I am happy to be here. And yeah, look, I totally agree that it was a really, really good game, and that I'm super happy with the performance of the boys. And there was a lot of questions that we had about what is the what's the shape going to be, what's our defensive looks going to be, and how are we going to be able to score goals? Are we going to be able to keep it going for 90 minutes? And while it wasn't a perfect second half, there was some great play. I saw strong midfield, strong defensive line, and overall very happy with the performance.
Yeah, I'm really happy too. I am so happy that we had that 4-3-3,
I knew you
and
would be.
I was extremely happy when I saw that lineup came out 4-3, and not only the formation, but the actual personnel was excellent.
Agreed,
Like
agreed.
it was
And
great. Like I we saw so I think that based off of what Data had said in his conference, I think it was yesterday, we knew that Gressel was going to be a starter. I mean, he was talking about amazing things about Gressel, and he basically said, "Imagine if after everything I just told you guys about Gressel, if he doesn't start tomorrow." So that was kind of a given. But I think one of the things that we were kind of wondering was, and there was a lot of debate I saw online, was it going to be Gomez or was it going to be Taylor on the left wing? And they both played. I thought that was great.
agree. And look, I was saying on the live stream a couple of days ago when I was talking with the chat and with our viewers, I said, who is going to get the nod, and what has Robert Taylor done to not deserve to start for this team? He hasn't done much. I thought he was just getting poor luck because of Gomez and because of formations. But lo and behold, he starts and he scores a great goal in that bottom left corner. So I had even said on the chat that when you were going to play soccer with your friends that you were playing in a
Yeah.
4-3-3. So we knew that was coming. I
Yeah,
knew you'd
no,
be
that was
happy about that.
awesome. Yeah, that was great to see them both there because it was like, why does it have to? I mean, they don't play the same position, Gomez and Taylor. I mean, you can have Taylor is just so dynamic. He's a guy that can create his own space by himself and go on a one-on-one, take the player or the defender, whoever's in front of him. Gomez is very offensive minded, but he's excellent at passing. He's a guy that's always going to look to score. It's just kind of a bit different, but it was just nice to have them both there because when I saw that lineup, to me it spoke volumes because I was thinking, okay, Tata is not going to play defensive here. He wants to make sure that they score. He knows that that's something that I guess in the preseason he noticed. Man, we're not scoring. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that we need to make sure we do. And right off of the get go, he went with a very offensive lineup. So I thought that that was great. Um,
Totally. I mean, I totally agree. And look, I think that Gomez playing left midfield is exactly where I think he does a good job because he's an engine. He made good runs forward, and he had a couple opportunities and maybe a couple passes that he wish he can get back. But overall, I think he played a good game. Unlucky for Ruiz, who I think had a great preseason and also just as well deserved to start. Didn't get the nod, but in the end, I mean, Tata got it right. I would have liked to see our center back pairing of Frere and Aviles, but obviously Frere is still dealing with that injury. I thought Christoph was shaky to start, but he grew into the game for sure, and it was a great defensive effort. At the end, I think Luis Suarez honestly had a really good game from what I could see. Like, great hold up play, great intuitive passes. That goal for Diego Gomez was all because of, obviously it started with Messi, but Suarez, a fantastic pass in the box, and unlucky to not score on towards the end of the game when he shot that ball low and hard at the goal. And he, I'd say 9 times out of 10 he scores that goal. And so overall, a really good start.
Yeah. Let's so one of the topics of concern with this team coming into the, well, not coming into the season, because of the experience we had last season, and then obviously what we saw in the preseason, was the defense, right? We lost one of our best defenders in Kamal Miller, and I mean, we were kind of like in shambles. A lot of fans and a lot of analysts and people that report on the team. What
A
are
lot
we
of
doing?
Ashley Silvers, yes.
Yeah, so a lot of Ashley Sailors, exactly. So I mean, I'm looking at this defense, and it felt a lot more solid than what I thought it was going to look like. So I was pleased there. I think that one of the things that happened with the defense is, and something I noticed that did is, one of the things that we were suffering from a lot last season was when Alba and Yedlin would go up to help in the attack, we would give the ball up, and it would turn into a quick counterattack, and it would just leave us in shambles on the back line, where we'd have 2, 3, 4 of the opposite team against Christoph and Aviles, or
Yeah.
whoever else, and that was really bad for us. So one of the things I noticed that Tata did this time around is, I feel like he staggered a bit more on the attack. So he was making sure that if Alba or Yedlin, like, they weren't both really high up. It was either like one or the other. But one of the main things was that Busquets was helping a lot more on that back line, which was allowing
Yeah.
Alba and Yedlin to be more aggressive, because they had that safety net of, basically it was almost like a hybrid back three with Aviles, Christoph, and Busquets a lot of the times. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but um,
Yeah.
I think that was a really good call on Tata's part, and that really helped our defense. Now, the defense and the midfield is something else. Like, how did you see that midfield? Because on TV, they looked excellent, especially in that first half. So let's stick to the first half, because the second half it's like a tale of it's two different stories. But in that first half, man, the Gressel and Gomez did amazing to stop that attack. What did it look like to you?
100% agree. 100% agree. I would even start by saying that I thought someone who we both give a hard time to and has had his ups and downs, DeAndre Yedlin had a really great game. I really thought he did. I thought he made almost every right choice, whether it was to stay back defensively and track, or it was to move forward to try and get that final third. So I want to give a shout out to him, because I thought, like you said, that sort of back three to back four that kind of went in and out did a really good job. And to your point, yeah, the midfield was really, really great. I thought, like you said, Busquets definitely had more of a defensive role than we've seen him in the past, which I think helped. And Gressel, who I had, given some slack to in the preseason for being a little rusty, not necessarily fitting in with the team, did a really great job. He had a couple errant passes, but through a 90 minutes, not every pass can be perfect. And I agree with you that I think he made a ton of right decisions. So did Gomez. It was a really great balanced midfield from the defensive end and the attack, and just transitioning from the second to the final third. And everything you said, it was a really good game. And look, for what we saw from this Inter Miami team in the preseason, we saw a lot of, not sure about who was going to fit where the goals were going to come from, where the goals were going to be stopped, because we had no clean sheets and we got a great clean sheet today. Hey, it was a good performance. It was a great way to start the season off with a win against a team we didn't know very well. Against, I mean, Diego Luna, great player. The striker from LAFC from previously, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name, but really great players that we kept quiet all game. And so hats off to them. Great game plan by Tata, great execution by the team, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. So that first half was really good. I think that was between the two halves, that was definitely the better one for me in respect to an
Yeah,
all
for
team
sure.
game. Everybody playing on top of their game. We had that beautiful goal, which was that Robert Taylor goal, which starts off with Boosie. That's something that Busquets does amazing, is making sure that once he recuperates that ball in the midfield, he puts that excellent pass. He puts that excellent pass to Messi. Then Messi takes it down the middle and puts that pass over to Robert Taylor, which for a second it seemed like it was a little bit too far to the right, but Robert Taylor got it at a pretty difficult angle to score on, and just rifles it past the goalie. So yeah, man, I was feeling really confident after that first half, and we were generating a lot of opportunities, a lot of goal scoring opportunities, and I think that it was just taking into consideration that it was the first game and we're going to be rusty. And I feel like a lot of these opportunities that we didn't finish, as the season progresses, as they get more games under their belt, they'll be more accurate, and we'll start to finish more of these. So, but it was really good, a great first half. Then the second half comes around, and it just so happened I tweeted during the first half talking about how amazing that midfield was. But as they come out really shaky, that midfield. And that's what kind of, I think, gave hope to RSL to kind of feel like they had a chance to get back in this game, because they weren't generating a lot of their own plays. They weren't generating a lot on the offensive end. A lot of what ended up happening was because of the mistakes that our midfield was giving them. They started to pressure. Salt Lake started to pressure a lot more, which in turn made our midfield kind of nervous. They weren't being accurate. Gomez had a really bad pass that turned into an opportunity for them. Busquets had like two bad passes, I think it was, that ended up being an opportunity for them. So whereas Salt Lake was respecting Inter Miami a lot more in the first half and kind of backing up and letting Inter Miami take charge, they came in the second half and said, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to put pressure on you guys. We're going to make you make mistakes. And that's where that midfield got kind of shaky there and gave them a lot of opportunities to kind of get back into it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think that you know, when a team is leading at the half, the first 15 minutes of the second half are always the most difficult, because it's when the losing team tries to pounce and, make their mark and catch you off guard. And we had shaky moments for sure, but it's going to be a very long season. There's a lot of games, and to be able to see this early on, the resolve and the ability to get a clean sheet, to make it through the ups and downs and the errors, uh, left me feeling really, really positive. I think that it's our defense has been a huge question. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast last season. In this preseason, we saw a lot of poor goals given up, shaky defensive line, shaky Drake calendar, and tonight totally put that to rest. Obviously this is only the first game, but so far really put it to rest. And I was really happy just with the overall cohesion of the team. Yeah, the second half, we weren't seeing as fluid football as we saw the first half, but that comes with, having that 1-0 lead. It comes with seeing the first game of the season, everyone getting their feet wet, etc. Busquets, who played real, I mean, towards the end of the game, he was starting to feel his ankle a bit, I think, and needed to come out, but it was the performance we needed. And even Messi, who had some phenomenal plays and some plays that are only he can do. We saw a couple misplaced passes, or maybe like a little over kicked, or he was a step behind for some of them. But it's just, even when he's not at 100 like percent, or playing his perfect game, it's still better than everyone on the field. So
Yeah.
it was still really good to see. And there's certainly, we could all have criticisms about certain players, we could have criticisms about shaky moments, but this is a results driven sport and a results driven league, and we're 2-0, and we're going strong.
Yeah, definitely. It was 2-0. It could have been a lot more. again, just
I know.
just
I
reading
couldn't
some.
believe we didn't get an, especially in that last 15 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna score like 7 times. I was even saying to my mom, I'm like, what's so crazy about Messi is that opportunity he had, that he tried to, that he chipped it, and they blocked it for that goal that he took all the way through. If the game was 0-0, I guarantee you he would have scored that. He just, like, like, he just, it was, he just, in the end, he didn't give his perfect shot, but he would score that if he needed to. It was just one of those nights where we kind of, in the end, kind of let it slow down a bit. But it was a great effort.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that play that Messi had where he chipped the player on the ground.
Oh my God.
That was insane. That was so high IQ, like that the IQ and like poise and just like to understand that's something that he could do in that moment. That is insane. He
He
did it
plays
to
in slow
perfection.
motion. He's in
Yeah,
slow
yeah,
motion. It's just
yeah.
crazy. Like, everyone else is moving in slow motion, and he is just thinking 9 steps ahead. And so is Suarez, by the way. Like, yeah, Suarez's finishing hasn't been perfect, and of course he maybe is a step behind what he used to be. But I'll tell you what, you could see it unfolding on the field, and I don't know how much was on the TV, but especially like in live in the field, him, Suarez, Messi, Busquets, and Alba were all 9 passes ahead. Like, they knew what their pass was going to be 4 passes from now. The four of them just, like, intricately doing that one touch passing up and down the field. Yeah, look, they're older, some steps behind, this, that, and the other. I don't care. They were playing like they weren't. They could have done it with their eyes closed. Honest to God, they could have done it with their eyes closed. It was unreal. And just as they keep getting into mid-season form and the shape and the goals start going in, I'll tell you what, it's going to be something really to behold.
No, yeah, 100%. Like we were saying, that could have definitely been a lot more than 2-0. I just think that again, this being the first game, you're gonna have players that are shaky. You're gonna have players that are still working on their accuracy. It's not the same thing as being, the preseason games, and playing your first game here at home to start off the season. I think that players will start to get better. They'll start to score a lot of these things. Gressel had some chances. I think that Gressel played a really good game defensively. He also had some really good passes, and again, there's just he'll start to finish these opportunities.
Yeah,
But then
exactly. His last pass is, the final pass is his final third of the pitch. I saw a comment on it. It's not at its sharpest form. I agree. I think that he's going to improve on it, but I still think what he's bringing to the team in terms of defense and just midfield, being in the right positions, being in the right places for transition of plays, making the pass to the third. Maybe not that final perfect pass, but he added a lot of value to tonight's game. And Tata got that midfield three right. And also, look, what we're maybe not forgetting, but something to keep in mind is we have a game in 3 days in Los Angeles, the complete other side of the country, West Coast trip. It's going to be a big hype game. There's going to be lots of stars there. It's going to be a big deal. It's Sunday night prime time, and then we have a game, the following week, and then we have the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And so this is just the beginning. This is literally only one game in. You're not going to have anything perfect, but it was great. It was, again, and it's not our full squad. We still have more pieces to come. So again, I'm happy about it. Who do you think is your man of the match? That's what I want to know.
my man of the match, I mean, it's got to be Messi. Messi played a role and it's not just
Every
because he's Messi, but he played a role in both goals. He had some crazy opportunities that he almost scored as well. So it's definitely going to be Messi. Um,
Is
he
that just
played
because
an
our
amazing.
show is called Messi and Co?
It's not just because that,
Okay.
but he definitely did. I mean, amazing this game. But um, what was yours? What was yours? I want to touch on a comment here, but I want to hear what was yours.
I think it's gonna surprise people. But my man of the match, honestly, it's Luis Suarez. And I know that's crazy. I really do. I know it's crazy, but let me tell you something right now. First of all, his pass was stunning for the second goal for Diego Gomez, and absolutely a pass that it's not a pass every striker makes. You know, they would go for the shot or they wouldn't do it. It was a perfect pass. His hold up play all game was really really good. And look, I get it. It doesn't seem obvious. I understand it, but I saw the effort that he put in the game, the forward runs he was making, the hold up play he was making, the defensive even plays he was making, the playmaking he was doing. I'm telling you, I was watching him the whole game more than I was watching almost anyone else because I was really interested and excited to see him play, you know, real minutes in a real game. And this is my first time ever seeing him play. So I was really excited. I was looking at him, and I'm telling you, he had an incredibly positive impact that doesn't necessarily come up on the score sheet or on the final stats, but something that I was really impressed by. And if those, you know, if he starts hitting those finishing chances, those one touches that we know he's capable of making, it's gonna fly off the page. So yeah, that's my surprise. You can all roast me in the comments, but I'm telling you, I thought he
It's
had a really
definitely a
good game.
surprise. Yeah, you definitely surprised me with that one. Maybe
Maybe
I
it's
mean
just because I was watching him all game. I'm
he
telling
played
you, he played
well.
really well.
No, I mean yeah, he played well. I'm not gonna speak ill of him. He definitely played well. Maybe he just plays. He looks so much better in person, I guess. Maybe than
To me, and look,
on
like I
TV.
said, you
Because
when you're on TV, you're not watching him the whole time. You're watching the ball, right? So, and like
yeah,
when you don't, you're not only when it's in the final third and you start and you see those long passes and you start to see it. That's when you see him on TV. But I'm telling you, I was watching him every minute in person, and every second he was putting in the winning effort and was like positioning himself in winning ways, doing winning runs, and just I was really impressed by it. I really was.
yeah. You know what surprised me about him? He played. I think what was it? 89 minutes.
89 minutes, and he would have played the whole game. I mean,
Yeah,
he practically did, but like he could have played, and he kept hustling. He kept going for the long balls, even though when they were far away. He kept going towards the defense when, you know, they were when the goalkeeper was just getting ready to kick it and taking his time. He was just he was just really running, and so I want to give him his flowers. I'm sure there will be other players who shined and etc. But I think he did like everything he signed up for and more, except he didn't get the goal, but he could have. And I just, yeah, I was impressed. We'll see. I won't be saying that every game if he doesn't score. I really won't. But
yeah.
you
I
know,
really thought that Campana was gonna come in earlier
earlier, and he was.
for
I think he
Suarez.
was. I think he was, especially if we didn't get the second goal. Like I think he was starting to get ready to come in and like I don't know when we scored the second goal. What was it, like the 81st minute? But I think like the 75th minute they started to see it. Busquets, though, he started to feel pain in his ankle, so they knew they had to get rid of him. DeAndre Yedlin started to feel a little strain in his hamstring, so I think he was initially going to come in on like the 70th minute, but some of the injuries and other players I think changed that. I saw a comment Drake was a man of the match. Agreed with that too. Drake made fantastic saves, great with the ball. He obviously had that slip up in the first half, but no, he did a great job. And like he was shaky in the preseason, he totally showed out tonight. Made fantastic saves, kept that clean sheet, no doubt about it.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting when Tata started to make those changes and he took out Taylor and then he basically kind of moved Gomez up a bit, and you had Mota there and then you had David Ruiz there. Um, Gomez is still, you know, he did so well in that position still. Like even though we took out Taylor, like I thought for a second there it was like, okay, we're gonna be a bit more defensive, but no. Like I mean, Taylor went out, Gomez stepped up a bit, and then we had like 3, 4, 5 more opportunities. That was incredible in those last 15 minutes with that little change that Tata made. And I know that in the past we've kind of criticized Tata for some of his maybe lack of adjustments in the second half,
Yeah.
and I gotta, you know, we gotta give credit where credit is due, and I think that Tata did a really good job, not only the way he started the game but the way he finished, and that was impressive to me.
100%. You know what I can say is what is the sign of like a really good match and good coaching is that there could have been 6 or 7 man of the matches that I could have told you. Honestly, of the starting 11, you could have named 6 people. I mean, obviously, Suarez is a dark horse, and I can understand if most people don't think that, and if it didn't come across on TV. It was just my first time seeing it, but I saw that I really appreciated. But it could have been
Yeah.
Gomez. It could have been Yedlin, obviously Messi, could have been Robert Taylor. Like it could have been Drake Callender. Like all of those players put in really great shifts and
I
performances,
think,
and that's the telltale
yeah.
sign that you have a great team.
Yeah, it was an all-around great team effort. So I want to touch on this one comment that Anthony was just asking us, I guess, about a comment on this. It says Messi is mentoring Benjamin, so that obviously he can be his replacement when he retires. We'll see if Benjamin is even still around when Messi retires, because the way that young guy is going, he might be playing somewhere else. But which young striker in our system is Luis Suarez mentoring? I've got to say it's got to be probably Campana. I can't think of, or
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's what I
Well,
think.
I think it's actually all offensive. It's all people who are in that final third. I think that he was mentoring Gomez throughout the game. I think he was giving tips to Robert Taylor. I think it's really anyone who's going forward. I'm sure him and Campana do a lot of one-on-one work. They do a lot of speaking, and with Borgelin too. I'm sure that
Yeah,
Campana is who he's obviously putting in the most effort to, but like all game he was talking to everyone who was in that final third, and I think Diego Gomez, I saw a lot of that effort and that just sort of intuition that reminded me of Suarez. So
it's almost
I
like
think they're
having
all
coaches on the
mentoring
field.
everyone. Exactly. I was
Yeah,
just about to say, I think all four phases they have these amazing mentors. Like
because
I
Busquets was
know
doing the
that
same thing. Like Busquets was
exactly.
like I saw Suarez, and obviously you must have seen more because I could only see what was on camera. But on the television, Suarez and Busquets were noticeably coaching everybody around
Yeah,
them, and
very vocal.
they're very vocal. Yeah, very animated. They get like they'd get sometimes even frustrated, like, hey, why are you
Yeah.
standing there, move this way, or you should have passed it that way. Like that is just insane for to have basically two, three, four extra coaches on the
Yeah.
field, and especially for the young guys. That's just
Totally. And
amazing.
also Alba. I mean, Alba, Alba and Noah Allen have a very good relationship. We've seen it on social media. We see it in training. Oh, really? Alba's such a great teammate, you can tell, and a great mentor. And same with Busquets, very vocal. Messi too. I mean, like, obviously he doesn't scream and shout like other people and et cetera. But like of course I'm watching him all game too. The little nods and notions and kind of directions he's giving with his hands and trying to put his teammates in good positions and giving them opportunities. You see it everywhere. And what I can do to describe this game is that it seemed like a team that was full of veterans who were playing a cohesive effort. And there was a lot of young players playing, so I think that's a pretty good badge of honor that you can say that we're seeing what we wanted to be seeing for the last few games, and especially towards the end of last season. We were looking for more of that cohesion, more of that full unit, more of that veteran presence that could finish off games. But yeah, I mean, it was great. And look, Messi could be man of the match every single game for his whole entire life, and can be for the rest of the games until he
Basically,
retires.
yeah.
He's always the man of the match. I was just trying to give a different perspective, and every ball Messi touched and every pass he made was the right idea and the right decision, and 95% of them were perfect, and the goals were all by his design, like 100%, 100%. But it's a team effort, and I was really, really happy with what I saw from the overall team. And I'm really excited to see what they continue to do, because there's still a lot of, there could be rotation of players that I would be happy to see starting as well. And that's a really good sign to me. With the formation, with the team, with the structure, we have a lot of wiggle room. And with a lot of games and a lot of matches upcoming and rotations needed, we can sustain this performance.
Yeah, 100%.
I see that comment
So
about the Barcelona system. Yes, I was. If I was watching, I was like, okay, this is Barcelona from 2011. That's like what I was
yeah,
thinking when I was
but
watching the more
which
of them.
I would be, I guess, yeah. Maybe there might be some things, but I don't know how much of Barcelona that is, and how much of European soccer that is, because, or at
Right,
least
or just the
not well.
four of them knowing each other very, very
Yeah,
well and being
yeah,
able
because the
to, the
Barcelona,
best.
like the tiki taka style that was kind of like Barcelona was very well known for. Barcelona left that style after Pep Guardiola stepped away. So
Yeah.
it's not like Messi and Alba and Busquets and Suarez in the last few years, or their last years in Barca. They didn't really practice that style. So I don't think it's that. What they do bring, however, which could be, you might be identifying as a Barca style, is a lot of the quick touches, and that's something that
Yeah,
they
the one
learned.
touch.
Yeah, they learned that in the Spanish league. Spanish football is very much like that. So I think that's probably what we're seeing a lot of, is more of a slow the game down, look up, soft touches, play up, and not just like long balls and just try to long balls and see if the forwards can get it. It's more of a build up game. It's prettier to watch, and it's something I very much enjoy as well. So I think that that's probably what we're seeing here, and hopefully the young guys do kind of
The
start
second
to
goal was
mimic that.
beautiful. The second goal is really beautiful. And you know what the style is called? It's called the best players to ever play that position style. Is what that's the Barcelona style. It's, oh, these are the, four of the best to ever play their roles on the pitch style of football. So yeah.
Yeah, so so one of the things with Suarez is he's really intelligent, and he knows kind of like when to, you know, I think that he's now a lot more, especially in this age, a big part of like the build up as well.
Yeah.
It's
Great hold
very,
up play.
yeah. So I think that that's kind of like different, because I know that Suarez before, like in Liverpool or when he was in Barca, it was that striker where you could put like a ball and he'd make a crazy run, and that's kind of like not the Suarez that we see now. He's a guy that needs you to put the ball a bit more perfect for him, put him in his spot, get him in the right spots. So I think that that's good, because you've got that player that can be lethal, that can put a pass, as we saw in the second goal. But then if you want something where you're going to have a player that's going to move around more, be more involved in going down into defense, making runs, then you've got Campana. So from a coach's perspective, you've got two really good offensive kind of nines, killers that you can have up there and kind of mess around with whatever schemes or game plans you want. So I thought that was interesting. And I will say it does look to me like Suarez, or maybe again it's just the beginning of the season, but he's slowed down maybe a little bit from what we saw in Brazil last season, but that could also be, again, because it's maybe the first couple of games. So I don't want to make that determination yet 100%. We'll see as the
Yeah.
games
I'll
progress.
tell you what though, and a lot of it what the cameras didn't catch is he made so many runs that they didn't end up passing it to, but he was going 100% the whole entire game. People are gonna really roast me for this. I'm telling you, next game I'm gonna record the whole entire game and just record Suarez so you all can see what he was doing. I swear I'm not talking out of it. He really was, but I agree with you. It's slightly different, but it was a lot of fluidity and a lot of right choices. You know what I was honestly thinking, which is something that is not going to really happen very often. But I was like, I wonder. I was like, God, it would be really cool to see kind of a 4-4-2 and just to see a little bit of Suarez and Campana playing at the same time.
That would
I
that
know
would
it's
be
like
fun.
I think you may see it here or there, especially like if we need to score goals, if we're behind in a game or something like that. Like I could see it happening here or
Yeah,
there, but
that's when it would
it
happen
just
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I felt like in the end there was room for some tinkering, but I really, to kind of sum it all up, because I kind of gotta get going in a second. I was really happy with the performance, especially compared to what we've seen in the preseason. A lot of talk, a lot of ups and downs. Let me tell you something. The stadium was rocking. It was full. Everyone was excited to be there. The team played great. Great effort out of everyone for the 90 minutes. Great game plan. Great finishing of goals. Great clean sheet. Everything we wanted to see that we've been looking for is starting to really kind of make its shape. And I'm excited to see what keeps happening. And we'll be back on Sunday streaming, and I will have video on this time so you all can see my beautiful face and we can be able to go through things in more in depth. And I'm just really excited for what this season has to offer.
Yeah, 100%. I think that as a fan, you've got to be happy with what you saw today, especially being the first game of the season. You can expect teams to be rusty, but you've got to be happy, especially after what you saw. If you watch the preseason,
Yeah, I mean, this team's
I mean,
unrecognizable compared to what
yeah,
we played against Al Hilal or Al Nasir. Like
yeah.
unrecognizable.
Not to mention again, you've got guys like Redondo that's going to come in to
Yeah.
help in that midfield. That is a great player. You've got Freire that's going to come in and help.
Kremaski coming back. Yeah.
So yeah, so this is an incomplete team that is playing great. As soon as these reinforcements come in, it's just going to give Tata so much more. I think flexibility to game plan even more, to be more specific with each team that he plays. So it's exciting, and I'm really happy with with what I saw. I'm very encouraged, and I think it's only going to get better from here. If this is a team that's rusty, first game of the season, and they played like this, I'm taking it. I'm taking it all day. Like this was just
Hundred
really great.
percent. 100%. I agree. And for everyone listening and watching, we have a lot more content coming, a lot more to talk about, more episodes, more live streams, more everything. So, let us know what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want us to talk about, things that we haven't gotten to yet. And I'm really excited. We got a good season coming up, Gian.
Yep. I am really excited. I am going to. I don't know if you have to step away. I was going to hang out maybe like 2-3 more minutes, just to kind of answer some of these questions. But
Yeah, you go.
yeah,
I gotta run, but you answer the questions. Thanks everybody for listening. I'll be back next show, and yeah, let's vamos Inter.
vamos Inter. Thank you, Ashley.
See ya.
See. Okay, so Ashley, yeah, she was actually at the game. So she had a really cool perspective of everything that was happening there. She said that it was amazing on TV, on the television. It was amazing. I'm going to try to make it to the next one, and be in the press box. That's going to be, I believe, let's see. The next game is going to be against the LA Galaxy in LA next Sunday, February 25th at 8:30, and then the following one that's going to be in Miami, that'll be against Orlando City. So that's a great game, against our in-state rivals, Saturday, March 2nd at 4:30. So I'm going to try to make it to the press box on that one. I'll try to get you guys some good coverage from there. So, but the second half was good though, right? Even Tata said the team wasn't good though. Even Tata said the team lost steam in the second half. Yeah, that's true. The second half was, at least at the beginning of the second half, was very shaky, for sure. That the Salt Lake started to pressure a lot more, and they were trying to make Inter Miami make mistakes, which they were successful at. Gomez had a bad pass that almost resulted in a goal. Busquets had a couple of bad passes as well that almost ended up in goals. So yeah, the second half was not good, at least for like a good 25 to 30 minutes. Then Tata made some changes. Tata took out Robert Taylor. He moved Gomez up a bit. He took out I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I know that Mota came in. I know that David Ruiz came in. So he made some changes in the midfield, and after those changes, the team I think what they needed was fresh legs. That team looked tired in that second half. You can tell they just some of the coverages were being blown against bad passes, and Tata recognized that. So I just do want to give him props on that. He brought in some fresh legs, and those last 15 minutes or so, that's kind of when the second goal came. And then there were about like 3 or 4 more opportunities to score. So definitely a little iffy there, but it ended up being a good second half towards the end of it. So let's see, that gap between RSL and Miami. RSL punches and takes chances, and then Miami makes the lethal turn. Yeah, exactly. RSL wasn't doing much in that first half. They had a couple chances here. They had more chances in the second half, but Inter Miami definitely was able to fight back, especially towards the end there. I will say one thing though, if we kind of want to look at the glass half full and be positive about this, yeah, there were moments where Inter Miami was turning the ball over, but they were really good on getting back on defense and getting their foot in front of shots, getting in front of passes. So I will say that, yeah, like they were very shaky. They messed up, but then they were very quick to recover. So I think that at least was something good. Let's see. Gianni and Ashley, I hope I didn't miss the 2024 MLS draft. And if I did, who do you guys want Miami draft? I believe we already had the super draft, if I'm not mistaken. And we had some good pickups. Yannick Bright, thank you. Northern Thai Garden guy. So we've got Yannick Bright, Ryan Carmichael. It says, guys, we don't need midfield and forward. Yes, I mean, what we really needed was the midfield is stacked. Like, we've got a stellar midfield. We've got the forwards covered. One of the big areas for Miami and the big areas of need is definitely the defense. So we were hoping that we get some more defensive players. Weirdly enough, right now, Noah is playing as a center back. I mean, he's a professional. Last season, when Tata played with a back line of with 3 CBs, sometimes Noah Allen would play there. But I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that's his position. Again, he's a professional. He does a good job of doing what he's asked to do and playing that CB position, but he's more of a left back to play behind Jordi Alba if Jordi Alba gets subbed out. So we definitely needed that center back position. We got rid of Kamal Miller, which was kind of weird, but I think it was basically to probably free up a roster spot and some allocation money for some of the players that we were bringing in, so that he was kind of sacrificed there. And now we've got Christoph and Aviles. Aviles is a monster. I love the way he plays. Christoph has been was a little iffy at times last season. He wasn't, you couldn't depend on him too much, but I will say he had a pretty solid game today. And then we've got Freire that's coming in. So he'll probably be, in my opinion, the guy that slots in for Christoph. So it'll probably be Freire and Toto Aviles as their center backs. But yeah, backline is what we need. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the game as much as I did. I don't know if there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about before I head out. I know that we are going to try to see if we can do another episode, because today's Wednesday, right? So we're going to try to see if we can do an episode Thursday or Friday, but if not, we'll definitely be on Sunday to bring you some more stuff, another episode. But yeah, I'm really happy. I hope you guys are happy with what happened today. Great game, very promising. Tata, from a coaching perspective, did great. The players looked much more cohesive. They looked like they knew each other. They knew, like, they were the familiarity between each other was there. They felt like it finally felt like they were in the right positions in the preseason. It felt like there were a lot of guys that were playing positions that they weren't used to, or they shouldn't have been in. And I think Tata finally figured it out. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Inter Miami as we move forward. I think they have a bright future, a lot of tournaments coming up for us. So it's good that we have a lot of depth in the midfield and the forwards. We'll see what happens with the defense, because we're going to need a lot of there's going to be a lot of in and out between players for these different tournaments. You're probably going to see one group of players play in the season, another group in the MLS season. You're going to see another group of players playing CONCACAF Champions. You're going to see another group of players playing Leagues Cup. So it's going to be really important, because these guys are going to be tired. We want to make sure we avoid injury. And we want to make sure, I mean, basically, if you have a player that you want to see play and maybe didn't get time today, I think that this is going to be one of those seasons where everybody gets a chance to prove themselves, again, because of the amount of games that we're going to have. So, okay, so good result. We'll get better as the season goes, 100%. If this is the worst we can be, today was amazing, because we played so well. So yeah, it's only up from here. And Eric, yeah, agree, Thai guy, 100% agree. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. Make sure to follow us at Messi & Co on our Twitter, or X. So used to calling it Twitter, but on X. So we're also on Instagram as Messi & Co. We'll make sure to post a lot. We post a lot there, a lot of our thoughts, a lot of our analysis, and a lot of videos and that sort of thing. So make sure to follow us on there, and hope to see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Bye.